The mother of one of the teens involved in that deadly classroom stabbing in Santa Rosa says the school could and should have done more to prevent the violence. Good evening. I'm Reed Cowan in for Ryan Yamamoto.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. Betty Yu is live at Montgomery High School with the school's response to those allegations and new details on what may have led up to yesterday's deadly altercation. Betty?
Liz, I'll give you an update here at the memorial. People are still coming by at this hour to pay their respects to the victim. Now, earlier, I spoke with the mother of that second stabbing victim. His name is Cruz. She shared why she's disappointed and upset at the school and the district.
I feel like I have to say something on my son's behalf, and his best friend, Jaden, who was also like a son to me. They've been friends since kindergarten. The stories and things that I've heard regarding the incident, I feel are not accurate.
Maria Cervantes was visibly distraught, standing outside Montgomery High School this afternoon. Her 16-year-old son, Cruz, was stabbed in the hand and received stitches. She said the school recently alerted her to violence and tension between the older students and the freshman suspect. Jaden and her son, seen on the left in this photo and on the right in this one, were best friends.
You guys told me when 3 weeks ago you pulled me in for a meeting to let me know that my son was assaulted 3 weeks ago by this same individual, that you guys had firsthand knowledge that this was going to happen, and you didn't even stop it then.
She said the district assured her that things would be taken care of.
There was going to be policies and procedures and extra security in place to make sure that something like this didn't happen, but it did. It did. And my son came into that office yesterday asking and screaming for help. And there was no admin staff available when my son was there trying to get his friend help.
And as recently as a week ago, she said the same suspect slashed Jaden's car tires at school.
Our children were failed, and ultimately it took Jaden's life being taken for eyes to open up and people to actually realize that this isn't a joke.
We asked the school district to respond to those very specific allegations. We were given a statement that read in part, "We are reviewing safety needs across our district and working to ensure that we can adjust and amplify our work to help ensure student and staff safety in our schools." Jaden's grandfather described his grandson to KCBS Radio as outgoing and a good kid.
He had some conflict earlier during the week with the kid or something. I don't see why the school didn't do something about that. They stabbed all of his tires and stuff on his car.
The school should have been on top of this a long time ago, and I feel failed. I feel failed. I didn't get a call from the school when this happened. An hour after this happened, I got a call from a student.
Well, you heard what Cruz's mother had to say. Santa Rosa police told KPIX that yesterday the two boys walked into an art class they were not enrolled in looking for this freshman. A fight breaks out moments later, and then at some point that suspect pulls out the knife. Liz?
Wow, and these kids, again, just 15 and 16 years old. Your heart goes out to the students that were in that classroom that witnessed the violence, and of course the parents and the entire school community, and obviously the parents of the victim there. All right, Betty, thank you so much.
So the tragedy in Santa Rosa is spurring a lot of discussions among students across the East Bay and all areas of the Bay. I spoke with a high school senior just a couple of hours ago. Sam Iannone thinks that violence could be reduced by supporting mental wellness programs.
I think it's tragic. It's also a little numbing at this point. I think this is not the first time we've had a sad event happening here. There's a huge stigma around mental illness, mental health in general, and a movement to end the stigma and start the conversation is going to be super beneficial to all of us. How much better could we be doing as a society if we just said, "Hi, how are you doing?" Right? Start our days by checking in with each other,